Hey guys, this is Mike Schilling. Usually I do something goofy before the show, but I just wanted to say thank you for everybody who've been sending their, warm wishes, good vibes, prayers, thoughts, whatever you want to call it, for the loss of our four-legged child, Manny the Podcast Dog. I just appreciate all the comments and then the support. So I just want to thank you. Tonight we're going to just have a easygoing show. If you're part of the audience and you want to get on, we'll just send you a link. On top of that, just the rule is, hey, no profanity, no drama, no self-promotion, and we'll be good. I've got my co-host tonight filling in for Mr. Ricky Pope, Todd V, and we have a special guest tonight as well. So let's go ahead and get started. And I forgot to unmute, so that's great. But anyway, here's Mr. Todd V and my Todd. I don't even know what to say. You almost kind of look like you
kind
of
have
look.
an explanation. I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
At Thanksgiving, I
Yeah.
was bitten by a radioactive cornucopia.
Really?
Yes.
I thought you're like auditioning for a Teletubby show, but no, that's fine. I just wanted to do a shout out. Like I said, we just lost our four-legged podcast dog. So I just real quick, I just wanted to just give a shout out to my buddy, Mr. Manny. Manny the Podcast Dog. You just kind of read a little bit. Manny spends most of his time laying on one of his 4 locations around the studio when he was alive. His hobbies are collecting and sucking on blankets, pooping in front of the direction where you're mowing and at the yard, glaring when you're playing video games, and he often chases a backyard adversary named Brick. Manny's other skills are master of fly catching and a food connoisseur. He likes belly rubs and a good butt scratching. Don't judge. Oh, and he also likes bacon and premium ice cream. And that's Mr. Manny, my dog. We'll just real quick. And that was to you, Manny. Love you, buddy. I'll see you soon. So anyway, yeah, we're introduce a good friend of mine, and he's also a special guest, the man that we like to call Darryl McCarty. Here we go. Hey, how you doing, Darryl?
Hey, how's everybody going?
Good. Tonight we're just gonna and Todd V, are you gonna be on the comments tonight?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. Again, Ricky Pope, he's away for the holidays with his family. I decided, let's go ahead and do a podcast the day after Thanksgiving just for fun. We're just going to talk about some things. We're not going to really do what we normally do on the show, have this really rigid format. And we're just going to enjoy ourselves and just talk about different things, stuff that stuff that's going on in the nerdverse. So, yeah, there's a couple things I want to talk about, and I don't know. And if you folks on the comment boards have anything you want to share, then bring it on up, and Todd will show it. Let's see here. What's the first thing? What are you guys looking forward to this year as far as any shows that are coming out?
For me, Spider-Man, this upcoming Spider-Man movie that's coming out. Like, the more and more I see of it, the more trailers, the more I'm hearing. Like, I'm really excited to see this Spider-Man movie.
Hey, by the way, Todd, what do you got going on behind you? You got kind of a...
Oh, I have a special guest with me tonight.
What's that?
I'm sure you've noticed the...
Yeah, it's noticed
sparkles.
something. The sparkles, yeah.
I have with me today the companion from the original Star Trek series, second season,
Yeah.
episode 9,
Yes.
Metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis.
She's
Okay.
not saying much.
Not saying much. That's okay, man. Because you bought a green screen, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that.
I haven't figured out how to use it yet, though. So this was a happy happenstance.
About Spider-Man, and I thought, and I'm glad you brought up Spider-Man. Did you see there's a video out there, and it's hilarious, and I saw it on Instagram, I saw it on Facebook, even saw it on Twitter, and it's about Dr. Octopus, Octavia, and it's a funny scene, and I did some clips on it where have you noticed this one?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, I
him?
watched that. That
Or
was
Dr.
funny.
Strange is
Yeah.
trying to ask Dr. Octavia, okay, is this the Peter? And I just, is this, yeah. And then he goes, is this the Peter?
Yeah.
And he says, no. He says, no. Is this the Peter? And that looks like Danny DeVito almost. I don't know what that is. Is that,
Is that Danny DeVito?
it looks like Danny DeVito. But I love this video. If we could show videos, I would show videos right now. But because, they don't see us as a real media, So is that him? Is that him? And then that's when Octavia says, that is him. Now, that's funny and everything. But what made me think about that is, of course, in the trailer. And in the trailer, he looks at Spider-Man, Tom Holland's character, and he goes, "You're not Peter Parker." So we know that in the trailer that all these villains are coming from these multiverses. Mm-hmm. And what I find interesting about it, so we know that Octavius, I call him Octavius. Is that pronounce his name? Octavia, Dr. Octavia.
I think it's Dr. Octavius.
Okay, that's what I thought. Let me get my notes out here because, so we know that he's dealing with Joey Ware. So, hey, Joey, welcome to the show. I haven't seen you in a long, long time. I can't wait to see this movie. I agree with you. So we all know that. Tobey Maguire is in that universe. He plays Peter Parker. So that asks, and I know this has been rumors, and I know people have talked about it, but do you think there might be just a chance of a really small cameo of Garfield or Maguire in there? Or do you think that this is going to be just representation of the villains themselves?
I don't know. They've been so tight-lipped about it, and Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland ended up running into each other at some event, or they had some event done together or something.
Yeah, that's been recent. Yeah.
And at that event, Andrew Garfield gave an interview saying like he wishes he was in the movie.
Yeah.
And, like how how awesome it would be, all this other stuff. And so he was making it sound like, like I've heard the rumors too. I wish it was true. But at the same time, we've seen pictures of them on set. We've seen like all those weird things that make us believe that, that like maybe there's a small cameo, like maybe like in the crowd, or like at the end where they're pushing them through the portal or something like that back to their universe, because obviously you have to get them back to their universe somehow. Are we going to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield on the other side of those portals type deal? Something like that. I think would be more realistic than actually seeing a Spider-Man team up and something like that.
Well, in the trailer there was a part where Tom Holland, he was trying to reach for MJ in the part where she's falling, and he's trying to reach her, and it's very it's
It's very reminiscent
reminiscent.
Spider-Man and Gwen.
And Gwen,
Whenever,
yeah.
when Andrew Garfield's character was trying to catch Gwen. Yeah.
And at the last minute, do you think we might see? I mean, I think it would be cool at that minute that, because they talk about giving the Spider-Mans of every universe a second chance. Mm-hmm. And that would definitely give the Spider-Man Garfield a second chance to be able to grab MJ, even though that was not the person he was trying to grab in his universe. I think it would be interesting, because it's from the Speaking. Now, Speaking Nerdy Podcast, is that
That's not me.
That's not you?
Is that Ricky?
Might be Ricky. Yeah, there's so many different outfits. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. We have one of the Amazing Spider-Man, which I think that was Garfield's Spider-Man outfit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And so you see different outfits in the film, which to me represents the different Spider-Mans from the different universes, from the past movies, from different actors. So it makes me wonder whether or not this is actually going to be a situation where if we don't see them, maybe a glimpse, maybe like a shadow of them. I don't know. But, like you said, I've been seeing Garfield and Tobey Maguire, at functions together, which is odd that all suddenly they're going at functions together. Garfield made a statement that his favorite Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire. He made that comment, which I thought was cool. I mean, it was no, I don't think it was meant any towards Tom Holland. It's, Tobey Maguire was the first Spider-Man within that type of MCU universe, that stuff that was going on. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. We know that somehow it's going to tie into the multiverse with Doctor Strange somehow. I love the trailers. It seems like to me Doc Octavia is going to play more of a part of, it's almost like Dr. Look it up, Todd, because I'm saying his name wrong. I always say Octavia, but I'm going to say Dr. Octavia. It seems like to me when he finds out that this is not the Peter Parker he's after, it's almost like, okay, we don't have an issue, you and me. It's almost like maybe even kind of somehow.
How do we fix this?
How do we fix it?
Yeah. Like, how do we get me back to my universe to get my Spider-Man? Like, I can see that, like him almost turning into like an anti-hero role, kind of like they did in, the Flash series with Harrison Wells, and where he was, not necessarily, a good guy on this earth.
Exactly.
Earth, he was a bad guy or, had regrets or whatever, but he was, still trying to help, whatever. But I think it could be something like that.
Hey there, Adria. Welcome to the show. One of our favorite folks from our Speaking Nerdy podcast group. I'm glad she made the show. Again, if anybody wants to pop on, just let us know if you're interested to join the show. You can, if you have a webcam or you have and a microphone, or you're using your iPhone or whatever. We'll send you a link in the comments and come on up. We're just going to talk. We're just talking about anything but anything nerdy tonight. We don't have really anything that's where, any kind of a regiment we're doing tonight. So you're welcome to join. So just let us know.
It is Octavius.
Octavius.
It's Otto Octavius.
Audio Octavius. Okay. Otto. Yeah, they said actually the character and Alfred Molona. Yeah, it's Molona. Great actor, by the way. He plays Dr. Otto Octavius. They're actually doing some kind of enhancement on him, basically, to make him look a bit younger. Kind of like what he did. He looked like back in the, 2006? 2006? Man, that was a long time ago, if I'm correct.
We did
But
the
yeah.
same
Yeah, it
thing
was
with,
early 2000s.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, with Picard's character, son.
Yeah. So, yeah, it'd be interesting.
I was gonna say, have you guys seen the? It's a meme that's been on Facebook. It says basically it's the fans' expectations for the new Spider-Man movie, and it's got like Godzilla in it, and Star Trek Enterprise, and a huge
No,
Star
I
Wars
hadn't,
dreadnought.
no, I
It's
hadn't
got all
seen
this
that.
stuff in it, and
Yeah.
That's
it's made me
insane.
wonder.
Just have a
Says you got
Samsung
That's what I'm
phone.
Samsung.
using.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Android works. You're welcome. I mean, you're
Yeah,
welcome to.
we
You
can-
just let us know.
we
We'll
can
just
get
put
you
it
on if
out
you
there.
want.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah, and
put
it's
it
the
on
holiday
there.
season, so we
What
got
I'm
to get our
concerned
holiday
about
outfits
is,
out.
are they overplaying this with so much hype now that it's going to be a disappointment because of that? You know what I mean, Daryl?
Oh, I hope not. Yeah,
I
yeah,
hope
like
not too.
because that was almost like not to really go there, but I don't want it to be that
I'll
you
send
know,
it on the.
Last Jedi or how Star Wars in it is horrible. Like it was such a build up to be such a letdown, and it's like yeah, let's not do
Yeah.
that with Spider-Man.
Yeah, I have some news on that a little bit later about our precious Star Wars that we love so
Yeah.
dearly. But
Uh,
yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. But
Adria, if you see that link and you click on it,
yeah,
should
let
take
me.
you to the-
I tell you what. Let's put it on the. I want to put it on the main site. Put it on the page. I have. There we go. I went ahead and put it on our page. Let's go ahead and do this. Y'all continue talking. You don't have to wait for me. Just have some fun as I do that thing I do so well. There we go.
That's a movie.
All right, I put it on the basically the Speaking Nerdy podcast group, so it's out there. So if you want to join, click on. You can don't click on. You can listen. Continue on the comments. There's no. It's there if you want to join. This is kind of our open mic night. So yeah, I agree with you. I'm hoping that I was reading that Tom Holland was saying this is a darker Spider-Man. Usually Spider-Man is kind of this, I mean, I saw some humor in the trailer and I thought it was pretty fun seeing some of the humor in it. But Tom Holland says this is not a Spider-Man movie that most people are used to. It's pretty dark.
I hope so. Like because eventually, like. I understand we're wanting to keep, everything family friendly, kid friendly and stuff, but once you get so far into a universe like this, you almost have to take it to that PG-13, skirting, the outskirts of that rating, because the characters have to grow up. And,
yeah, exactly.
And when you grow up in a universe like that, it gets dark really quick. And you saw it in Harry Potter, when Harry Potter first started, it's like all kind of kid friendly.
Yeah, exactly.
The older the kids got, you're like, okay, yeah, this is getting pretty dark here. People are actually dying. That we're dealing with real life things here, and so that, it's understandable that Spider-Man is now growing up and actually having, and especially in the universe where everybody you dealt with so much anyways.
Exactly.
Because of Thanos and everything else. So yeah, it's gonna be a dark universe. I hope so.
It's like Adria's trying to log in.
Hey, we've got a guest with us. Hey, well, hi there.
Hello.
Hi. I don't know if you can hear us or not, but welcome to the show. This is exciting stuff. I don't know if you can. Yeah,
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, we can. Hey, there you are. Welcome to the show. See.
Awesome.
Now we can actually ask. Is it Adria? Are we pronouncing it correctly?
Adria.
Adria. Good, because every show we always say we're having a problem. I don't know why we have a problem pronouncing it. We don't. Adria, good deal. Yeah, we're just open mic night. We're just anybody else wants to join, just make a comment. We have it on our Facebook group page, so feel free to click on or bring you on. You know the rules, okay? Be naughty. Don't be naughty. Be nice. That's good. Yeah, we have enough of naughty around here. So Marvel has a lot going on right now. We have, we just had Shang-Chi just came out on Disney Plus.
Amazing.
I saw it.
Movie.
I loved it. Adria, do you have a chance to see Shang-Chi?
No, I haven't.
It's a
I got Disney about a week ago during the Disney Day, whatever. $2.
Well, you got
watching The Mandalorian.
Oh, you got to. Oh my goodness.
Good.
I'm actually I'm very envious of you because you have so much you can binge now. I mean, there's so much good content. So, gentlemen, no spoilers whatsoever. So, all topics, no spoilers, because I don't want to ruin anything. Mandalorian was the reason I got Disney Plus in the first place when it first came out.
Yeah.
And Hawkeye is out. Just came out yesterday. So I need to watch that. And
I watched the first episode of that tonight with my wife.
How did you?
As she said,
yes.
Out of all the new shows that she's watched, other than The Mandalorian, this one has the best start.
Really? Now, is this kind of like I don't know, a Marvel Home Alone? I'm just joking. No, I'm just joking. Yeah.
He's not home, and he's not alone.
Okay, well that's good.
So,
I look forward to it. The reviews were all over the place, up and down and up and down. And I don't know. I'm not for sure why, but
I liked it. I like the characters that they've got cast in it.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to spoil anything.
Yes, don't do that.
But like my wife was saying, this one has a good, interesting start. There's no long, drawn out.
Yeah.
You pretty much you're in the story, and it's very entertaining. And there's action.
Yeah.
There's action in the very first episode.
Well, there's not a whole lot of backdrop to have to do with Hawkeye. I mean, pretty much it's supposed to be like 2 years after Endgames.
Yes,
and so that's, and then Kate Bishop, we all know that she's a character, and eventually in the comic book, she becomes, kind of the next type of Hawkeye for West Coast Avengers. Is that correct?
So it also gives some explanation as
or Young Avengers.
Yeah, Young Avengers.
Okay.
Because it also gives you some backstory as to why she ends up being like Hawkeye.
Well, they had Jeremy Renner was basically saying that he wants Hawkeye to lead the Avengers. Basically, he said that Clint Barton led the Avengers in the MCU due to the character history with the West Coast Avengers. So what do you think about that? As far as the Avengers go, do you think, I don't know, do you think that character could pull off a kind of a mentor leader role?
He did in, was it the Next Avengers? Or it was a 2-part movie that they did on or something. But yeah, it was about all of the Avengers' kids. And the only surviving Avengers were Hawkeye and the Hulk. And Hawkeye took on that mentor role, trying to keep the kids safe, trying to, do stuff like that.
That has to be Ricky Pope. This has to be Ricky Pope putting these comments out there. Ricky Pope,
Great Lake Avengers.
you said that you were not be able to do the podcast tonight, but you're commenting on everything we're talking about. So, come on, dude.
Cool.
No, it's not cool. It's a cop out. Okay. No,
Darryl, are you talking about Next Avengers: Heroes of Tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Came out in 2008.
Yeah.
But But as far as this MCU universe, what do you think? I mean, we're talking about
universe?
yes. I mean, we're talking about this MCU universe, not the comics, but actually, we're talking about our Clint Barton playing as Jeremy Renner was saying. Do you think?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, it's the character's proven to have done it before,
Yeah.
so I think that he can pull it off. I think he could definitely do something like that, especially after everything that he went through with the whole Thanos incident and kind of going Ronin and
Yeah.
just killing everybody. And then coming back from that, but even before that, the strict Shield training.
Yeah.
He was, a Shield super agent, for so many years that.
Yeah.
I think, at one point, I think I think he could do it. Yeah, I think between with all of his training, yeah, I think he's got it.
I would like.
Have you been able to follow any of the Hawkeye character through the movies?
No.
What kind of? Go ahead, Adria. I'm sorry.
I'm kind of behind on everything. That's why I watch you guys, because I get like little tidbits of information that kind of makes me want to go, check out something.
I mean, that's awesome.
Spoilers. It gives me an idea of what to check out,
Yeah, we'll try not to do any spoilers. I know that sometimes me and Ricky, when we have a show, especially, it's very hard for us not to blurt out stuff. So we try to be careful on that. At least I try to be careful on that. But yeah.
Well, let me ask you, Adria, where are you in The Mandalorian right now? What season?
Waiting on season 3. Yeah.
Oh, awesome!
Okay.
Awesome.
Which is that the one? Season 3 have IP-88 in it?
I think that was season. I think that was the first season. That was the first season where he. You're talking about the bounty hunter robot?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the second go around.
I don't know,
Second
Darryl.
go around
where
with
he was the
IP-88,
nanny?
he makes 2 appearances. Remember?
Doesn't he make an
I don't want to
appearance as a
spoil it for her
bodyguard?
if she hasn't seen it. You know who IP-88 is?
That was at
Adria?
the end of.
I'm not very good with names.
Okay, it's the skinny stick looking robot bounty hunter.
He was.
Robot that was there to get the baby Yoda.
Yes.
Yes.
When the Mandalorian showed up at the same time.
Yeah.
In there. Are we giving spoilers?
No. You can give any spoilers you want. We just don't want to spoil anything for you.
Yeah.
Now, did you say that are you actually finished with the 3 seasons? Are you waiting for season 3?
Waiting on season 3. Yeah, I'm finished with the first 2 seasons.
Okay. Awesome. And season 3, I mean, have you heard anything about production on it? I know they started production, or they wrapped up production, because they're talking about supposed to be coming out sometime the beginning of next year. Now, I know the Book of Boba Fett's supposed to be coming out like in the beginning. Is it the end of December, or they kept the problem is, go ahead.
Boba is on December 29th, as far as I know.
Okay, then thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, at the end of this year. Yeah.
Now we're going to do the show. Speaking nerdy, me and Ricky, we're going to have a week by week podcast on. We're just going to focus on the Book of Boba Fett. So every week, whenever the show comes out, we're going to follow talking about it. So just keep that in mind, folks. We usually don't do that, but this is kind of, for us, is a big deal, the Book of Boba Fett, and hopefully it'll have the same. It's going to be big because it's almost like the Godfather of Star Wars. It seems like to me, So
Yes.
I look forward to it, and I love how the Mandalorian ties into that. How it spun off from the Mandalorian, and I'm curious how much of the Mandalorian will be involved in that. So that would be interesting to me. And I like this whole time period of the young New Republic. And see how all this stuff is going on. Speaking, since we're going Star Wars right now, I'm going to kind of refer back to what you were talking about earlier, Darryl. Kathleen Kennedy was talking to Kathleen. Oh man, where did he go, man? I need him.
You said
for this.
Kathleen Kennedy, and he bailed.
Okay, we'll wait until George Lucas comes back.
Adrian, do you know why Kathleen Kennedy is not popular?
I'm not sure who that is even.
She was involved in the Star Wars universe development with Disney very heavily, and she had an agenda that did not necessarily benefit the fan base. So she's pretty much been ousted. But
That'd be unpopular of her then.
Yeah.
Is that you're not supposed to show me my Christmas gift before the holidays, there, Darryl?
Hans
Sweet.
Blaster. Over
Hans
here.
Blaster. Okay, hook me after the show. Hook me up. Who did that for you? Because my shelf over here is looking empty. I need to add that to my collection. Now, Kathleen Kennedy is when George Lucas allowed Star Wars. Well, when Disney bought Lucasfilms, Kathleen Kennedy was put head of the Star Wars franchise, and she was head over the past 3 movies in the trilogy. And there was a lot of stuff in there that fans were upset about, especially even with Mark Hamill. He had some issues the way they treat Luke Skywalker, which I did too. There was just a lot of, there was some good stuff for me. There was a lot of things that contradict I think the depths of the characters. And I think it slighted some of the characters, and I don't think it did them justice. I'm referring to the original Star Wars cast, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Lando Calrissian, and of course Luke Skywalker especially. And so a lot of fans are not very popular. She's not very popular with the Star Wars fan base. Now recently, Jon Favreau, who also produced a lot of Marvel movies, and he also played Happy in some of the Marvel movies as well. He took on the Mandalorian project. And what's great about him is that he is a Star Wars fan, and that shows in the Mandalorian. One of the guys who also is one of my favorite, and this guy is probably the most nerdiest, the most Star Wars fan I've seen. He was behind the animated series, the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch. He's basically an artist, but now he helps Jon Favreau with The Mandalorian. He's a co-writer, and I can't remember his name.
Dave Filoni.
Dave Filoni.
That's why I like The Mandalorian, because you get so much extra details than you did in the movies. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, I was looking.
Actually,
yeah, I agree with you. I want to make sure everybody can see. Now I love the detail too. I think the TV shows, and I hate calling them TV shows, the streaming shows of Star Wars, I think the quality is so good. You almost kind of think, do we really need movies of the Star Wars universe anymore? What's your thoughts of that? Where it's like, man, the streaming services are so good. The quality is so good. Do we need to look at big box office movies of Star Wars? Just throwing it out there.
Maybe not every year, like maybe not, maybe a couple every decade, or movie a decade or something like that.
Yeah,
you can get away with doing that. like unless a big trilogy comes up
Yeah.
that you really want to do. But you know, the way that they did the Mandalorian, the way that they're going to do the Kenobi series, the
Yeah.
way stuff like that. That's what I want to see. I want to see more of the in depth with those characters. Where you can get into a series like that. Like I think a Vader series would be very awesome.
It was like
I want to
Adria
see
was talking about. I mean, you actually get to know these characters.
exactly.
Like in a movie. Adria, they try to squeeze it all in within a 2 hour or maybe a 3 hours, and you really don't know the depth of the characters.
Mhm.
So,
And if you enjoy that aspect of it, Adria, the detail and the background information, there's actually a series on Disney Plus under Star Wars called Gallery, and it's about the Mandalorian, and there's 2 seasons, and they go into discussions with the 7 different directors that they did
it's
to
good.
write the shows, the how George Lucas impacted the show, how technology impacted the show. It is super well done and very enjoyable. It's not really too long. The episodes aren't, but you would probably really like that if you like detail. You
I'll
get a
check
lot of
it.
enjoyment out of it.
I think you'll be amazed, Adria, because I was totally stunned how the technology. I mean, you see all the special effects, and you see the landscape, and you see how big the world is within the Mandalorian. And when you actually look at the technologies they're using, you'll get blown away. I'm not going to give it away, but when you watch it, it's like, oh my goodness, they did all of this in this certain area. So it's fun to watch. Me and my wife watched it, and she really liked it because she likes the creativity and a lot of the stuff that happens in the background for movies and stuff like that. So it's definitely a watch. You were talking about trilogy, and Empire Magazine did a article with Kathleen Kennedy, and she was saying that Star Wars sequel trilogy characters will live on. She made a comment that certainly those are not characters we're going to forget, that they will live on, and those are conversations that were going on with creative teams as well. Whew, now, my question with that, yeah, exactly.
No, please.
No. So
Please.
now, do
You
you?
don't want to see Finn get developed?
Well, do you think? Let's put it this way. Okay, let's put it this way. Is there any minor characters that we would mind seeing a trilogy from? Is there any?
No.
No.
Not from this trilogy. There's no minor characters that I want to see. Well, maybe Poe Dameron. If we decided to go like almost like a Red Squadron type of
Yeah.
movie or kind of thing like that, but you want to advance it more to
Yeah.
this new republic that we're building.
Well, yeah.
And have him be one of the squadron leaders and kind of get into that kind of stuff. I could get behind that. If you want to throw Finn in there with him, okay, yeah, let's throw Finn in there, develop that. Anybody else, I think, is out the door.
Well, see, for me, that one thing I would see, the only way I would say, okay, if you went and say, okay, now we're going to rebuild the new republic, because now it's the new republic,
Right.
and you would see someone like Poe Dameron, who is an ace pilot, and and maybe he doesn't have the leading role, but you have new characters, hopefully better characters than we had before. Don't forget Rey, and I wouldn't even bring Finn into it. I would just maybe less about the Jedi and more about the actual people like Poe and some of the fighters and the captains and lieutenants and stuff like that, and the politics of the New Republic. That'd be interesting. But see, something like that you can easily do on a streaming service.
Yep.
If we're going to do that. I mean, if you're going to do a movie trilogy, let's do something more interesting. I'm not saying do a. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go old. I'm not talking about the book series that are out. That's supposed to be 200 years before the two. I'm talking about thousands and thousands and thousand years ago, when it was Jedi's and the Sith Wars going on.
Yes.
That's the
I want to see Darth Bane on the big screen. Like I want to see these epic Sith Lords. Like I want to see what was his name? Was it Darth Nihilus or Darth?
I know what you're talking about.
Who swallowed, like, who ate planets? Like,
yeah, I know.
I want to see a planet eaters. Like I want to see these.
I want to see a Jar Jar Sith. No, never mind. Yeah, I want to see Jar Jar just go red-eyed and just take out no. No, I'm like you. If we're going to do this, then let's do something totally different. Let's go back to the Jedi Wars. Let's go back to the very beginning, where I call it the medieval times of the Old Republic. Even pre-Republic. Because I know the book series they're doing, it's like I was kind of disappointed, because the book series they were doing is like only 200 years or 200 years before the actual Republic. That's the beginning of the Clone Wars and stuff like that. So it's really 200 years prior to that. It's not really long when it comes to the Jedi. So I was disappointed in those books.
Well, when it comes to a species and
exactly
this galaxy, 200 years is a blink of an eye. Yoda lived to 700 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like over 700. So you're sitting there like, he technically, like, he wasn't, like, he was he was in his 30s at that time. It's like he's not. So these people, 200 years for a species isn't long enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's the pre-Emperor, that whole thing is just way back. And I think that would be something I would be interested to go seeing. I think you can make a blockbuster movie from that. Totally new characters, be smart about the characters. You don't need big Hollywood actors. Just find the right people, like they did with The Mandalorian. Now, even though the actor there, and I can't remember his name, he played in Game of Thrones. Had that part in Game of Thrones. I don't know if you remember. He fought against the giant, the brute. I can't remember his name. No, Game of Thrones. Yeah, Game of Thrones, exactly. I can't remember the guy's name, though, and he plays the Mandalorian now.
Pedro Pascal.
Yes. I mean, he's a great actor, and I think he...
Oh, yeah, he's amazing.
And so get actors, I mean, one thing about Lucas, he was really good about getting actors that were not very well known. He would he would bring in some classic actors, like a Guinness, he would bring him in. I mean, it's some amazing Shakespearean actors he would bring in, because he wanted that kind of flair. James Earl Jones with
he was a carpenter.
Yeah, exactly.
And all of a sudden, he's Han Solo. Like, Carrie Fisher had done nothing. I think she may have had a minor role in something before she's the lead lady in Star Wars. Luke Hamill, or Mark Hamill, Luke, he was nobody before Star Wars.
Oh, exactly.
Somehow we got these amazing characters out of these no-name actors, at a time where you had some pretty well-known actors that probably could have, filled the role, but I don't think they would have been anywhere near as iconic as what we got.
It was interesting.
It kicked off a lot of these actors' careers. So
and then we had the child Anakin actor.
Yeah.
I heard his story was not good. The young man's
that was unfortunately I believe that was a sad story.
That was a sad story about that young man.
He's
But you think about it, it launches several careers, out of it. Now, Luke, of course, Mark Hamill had a rough time, breaking out of that role, but he's become known as this great voice actor and video games, animation. I mean, he is the Joker. He is the Joker, okay, in the animated series.
Oh, yeah.
But
Did Star
you
Wars
hear
launch
Joker's
Harrison's
laugh?
career?
yes, Star Wars did launch Harrison. Now he was prior to that. He was on American Graffiti. A very short cameo in it. He was a drag racer in I think it was Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. I think it was a George Lucas. He did kind of a 1950s kind of a nod, kind of like pre-Happy Days. That's where Happy Days kind of spun off of that kind of a feel back in the early 70s. It was a very small part, but basically in Star Wars, he was a carpenter, backstage carpenter. But if you look at some of the other actors, like I think out of this past trilogy, probably Oscar Isaac is probably one who's raised from all of this. Oscar Isaac, he's going to play as Moon Knight. He was in Dune, which I think he was great in Dune. Yeah. He was awesome in that. I'm so psyched to see Moon Knight with him in it. So I don't know. I think I haven't heard anything about this. I haven't seen any trailers on it, but I look forward to that. I didn't know much about Moon Knight until me and Todd was talking about it, and we started reading it on the Marvel Universe, digital universe, on the comic books there. And
Adria, are you familiar with Moon Knight at all?
Oh.
The character Moonlight. He's like Batman on steroids.
Yeah.
It was Marvel's attempt to squash Batman, and it really just did not kick off well. Like it never picked up traction again, especially mainstream traction. I remember seeing the comic books and being like, no. Like I know Batman. Like,
but if they do the show right, it might do well.
No need to improve on the original.
Well, I think that's the good thing about Marvel. They know how to bring in the mainstream. I am not the Marvel aficionado that my co-host, Ricky is. I know Todd has a lot of Marvel knowledge. I know a few that I've read as a kid, and a lot of them are probably the more noticeable ones out there. What I love about Disney Plus, about Marvel, I get to all these new characters that I'm not familiar with. Now I go back and I read the comics, and for backstory and an appreciation for these characters that they're now on the big screen or streaming on Disney Plus. So I look forward, that's really cool to me. And I can imagine an entire generation who are coming in, mainstream people who don't read comic books, and they're getting to see these movies. And it's like my wife, she's not a sci-fi person. She's not a comic book hero person, but she's not a big fan of DC, except for she loved the Wonder Woman series. She likes Gadot, and but she really likes the Marvel streaming and movies. I mean, she loved the Black Widow. I mean, and that was one of her favorites, and she. I think she made me go to the movie theaters to see it because she didn't want to see it at home. Which is funny to me because my wife, it's like, okay, we can watch it at home. I don't care, but she had to go see it on the big screen, and it was awesome. We went to go see it on the big screen, and it was really good.
Ricky made a comment. That's white. That's Moon Knight.
Batman with this.
Associative identity disorder.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Ricky, I just saw it.
But
speaking of new characters, Marvel's new character on Hulu.
Yes, it's Hit Monkey.
Yeah, I was told I needed to watch this.
This is kind of right up there. Anytime you see a Marvel movie that's on Hulu, that it's not the family-friendly version of Marvel that's usually on Disney Plus. That's where, if you want to see Deadpool, you're not going to see it on Disney Plus. You're going to see it on Hulu, which is great. It's smart. Disney owns Hulu, and what a great place to put, their more mature content on. So Todd and me were talking about it. He saw the first episode, and I thought, well, I'm going to watch it. After the total, I know you liked it, Darryl, but I was not a big fan of the previous one they did at Marvel Television, the one where the floating head. What was his name?
Yes. Why can't I think of his name?
MODOK.
MODOK.
Yes, MODOK. Yes.
I wasn't a big fan of it. I know you did. For some reason, I couldn't do it. But the Hit Monkey is really, this is probably the most anime feeling Marvel animation that I've seen. Has a very anime feel. Of course, it's very Japanese driven. Of course, that's the backdrop for Hit Monkey. And so I ended up watching. Yeah, I went through the whole thing. Well, you have, you have Olivia Munn, which if you know Olivia Munn, it's Sudeikis, Jason Sudeikis.
Jason,
Takai.
Yeah, and then George Takai is in it, which he does a really good. He does a good job voice acting in. So
almost don't recognize him.
You almost don't, and he's
You have to listen for it.
So my wife was watching me. Okay, Andrea, my wife sometimes she really laughs at me because I'll watch some of these superhero shows, and she says that's just a soap opera. No, it's not. It's a manly show. She'll get on to me a lot of times, and she'll say, and so she was making fun of Hit Monkey because because if you're anybody who if you don't know the comic book series, which I didn't know. I just started watching it. But, she thought it was kind of strange, and she kind of laughed because this monkey could do all this stuff. But I really liked it. I started watching it, and then I found myself binge watching it, which I didn't realize I was going to do. I saw the first season. Not the first season, but the first episode after texting with Todd, and I thought, okay, I had an evening, and I just watched the whole thing, and I thought, that's pretty good. I enjoyed it. Of course, I like a lot of the Japanese backdrop to it, and they had a lot of kind of Japanese undertone of sensibility in it. What have you seen? Have you seen the whole thing, Todd?
No, I've only seen 2 episodes so far. I'm deliberately not binge watching it because I'm consuming so much stuff so fast. I'm afraid I'm going to run out of material.
Oh, you can't do that. We can't talk about it until you watch it.
No, you can talk about it. It won't.
No, I do. No, but it's really good.
I wanted to bring up.
It's good. Go ahead.
It is. It's good. It is a little violent, but.
Is that when me and Tiffany puts Legos together? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, amazing.
Live action.
Cowboy Bebop was amazing. I loved it.
I'm going to just go ahead and admit, I never watched the cartoon series. So I watched the first episode of the live action last night. Immediately fell in love with it.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, for me, is rather than watching the next episode of the live action, I'm going to watch the first few episodes of the cartoon version, the anime version, and see how it tracks with the live action.
Yeah.
That way I can kind of get the best of both worlds. But the music in Cowboy Bebop is great.
The music was great.
And the way it's filmed, it feels like it's very true to form to the original series. The way it's
and it took me. Cowboy Bebop took me straight to those old school, martial arts films.
Yeah, exactly.
Were coming out of Japan and Korea, in the 50s and 60s. It was John Cho, the lead, the guy who plays Spike, like he got ripped for this role. Like whenever it showed that, I think it was a torture scene or something was going on with him. He had his shirt off. I was like, hey, that's the dude from Harold and Kumar. Like,
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I had to do the same thing before we started this season of the show. I had to get all ripped and do a lot of stuff to get myself in top
Yeah.
shape. But no, I think I hadn't seen the animation series. I saw the trailer, and when I saw the trailer that was posted on our speakingnerdy.com, I ended up I fell in love with it. It was like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. It had this Ocean 11 vibe. It almost had this the music kind of hip, but again, very Japanese oriented. It kind of had this the 60s anime type of, like late 60s anime kind of feel. Just kind of I guess they would call it like a hip. Kind of this. I had a retro feel to it to me.
Yeah, it was very jazzy.
Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
Cowboy Bebop on Netflix you're talking about that has the
Yeah.
ocean vibe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you seen it
Try
yet?
that.
Have you seen that yet, Adria?
Oh, so I don't have a lot, of to offer like opinion wise on these shows, but picking up.
Well, see, you're the sensibility of the show. Okay, so we need, having you on actually legitimize why we're on here, because most of the time we're on here, we don't know anybody's listening, so we're proving to people out there we actually have someone who's listening, and they're on the show now. No,
I'm gleaning a benefit from it.
exactly. It's all selfish, all self-motivated.
Yeah.
But I am. Go ahead, Darryl.
I was going to say, yeah, so the next one of the things I wanted to bring up was He-Man. Did anybody watch part 2 of He-Man Revelations
I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my playlist.
on Netflix?
Now, I heard this is not your 1980s He-Man. I heard this is a very mature type of He-Man.
Yes. It takes it more, definitely more mature. There's death, there's killing. Speaking of the great Mark Hamill, he voices Skeletor.
Oh my, yeah. I can see that.
Is like he's amazing, and like the voice actors. I watched it, like I binged part 2 the other day. Just
Yeah.
I noticed it came out. I was like, here we go, let's do this. I binged it, and like I had goosebumps. I was almost in tears by the end of it. I was like, this is like the greatest thing ever. Like seeing your childhood heroes completely different, completely new.
That's
and,
awesome. Yeah.
So
and then
you're
see
saying
them fully realized.
So do you like it or not? That's what we're trying to figure out.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
so
absolutely
you're
love
saying-
it. Like I'm a fanboy. I'm definitely a fanboy of this Masters of the Universe. Kevin Smith knocked it out of the park. Like
Now, Kevin Smith was behind producing it or directing it?
Yep. Producing, directing, everything. They do a Masters of the Universe after show.
Really?
So after everything's done, they did an after show where Kevin Smith was on. They were talking about stuff, and one of the things they talked about was when Orko, when they were doing his voice and doing his role for it, he actually only had one spell that he had written out to cast in it, and they were like, wait, that's really cool, like let's do some more. So Kevin Smith sat there and freestyled all of these spells, and they wrote them out. Voice actor acted them out, they cut the tape, and that was it right there on the spot. And I was like, okay, this is really cool the way that they developed this and put this together. So Kevin Smith had a very, very strong hand in it.
They're good. I got to bring back my Netflix account. The time that I got rid of it, there was just nothing anymore. Everybody was taking their toys and going home with it. NBC was starting the Peacock, and you had Disney and Hulu taking, their toys away, and Netflix, all they had, mainly they had at the longest time, was stand-up comedy and some of these weird, these sitcoms, whatever. But they're all this good. For me, Nerdum is coming back to Netflix and all these animes and all this. So I think it's worth picking up again because I would love to see the He-Man Revelations. And Cowboy Bebop. That would be, I want to see the animation. I want to see the actual live action as well. So
The anime is on Netflix as well.
That's
so you
good.
can get the anime on Netflix, and you can get it on Funimation. I believe it's probably on Crunchyroll too. Like I think
Yeah.
they pretty much have it everywhere.
I wanted to see Robotech on, but it's only on Funimation. So I'm going to go ahead. I mean, so I guess it's one of those things. I may buy a month subscription and just watch all the Robotech, because I know me and Ricky talked about wanting to do a Robotech special,
Yeah,
and for
I
me
saved
that
it to my list.
because for me, what I want to do, for me, that was the first exposure that I had of, I mean, I had other exposures of anime, speed racers and stuff, but Robotech was the first anime that was like, that got me going to anime conventions and stuff like that when I was a kid. And it was like the first animation, or if you want to call it, I hate to downgrade it by calling it a cartoon, but back, in the 80s, to me, G.I. Joe, no one got killed. They jumped out of, everybody had parachutes back then. I don't understand.
Yeah.
So everybody was able to jump out of a vehicle before it exploded. Bullets just, for some reason, ricocheted everywhere. No one got hurt. But Robotech got me, feeling for characters, and then they would die. I mean, there was the first time I came across, this as a child watching an animation series. Wait a minute. That person was killed. There's no parachute. Actually dead. So, but I loved the series, the first one. I think I liked the first, and I liked the third one. The middle one they could have done without. But yeah. So, and I can remember some of it very vividly, and some I can't. So I would like to watch it over again, at least the first and the third one. A lot of people said the middle one you don't even need to watch because it was kind of never needed to be made. But yeah, so Robotech was one of my favorites, and it got me into anime. So that's kind of a shout out to that. But yeah, I mean, is there anything? Have you been watching The Witcher? Because I have not. Have you? I have not.
It hasn't.
I watched the first season. I've also watched the anime movie that they came out with, which sets up the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, the show should be releasing December 17th.
Okay.
I didn't even recognize the guy that played Superman. I
Yeah,
didn't realize it was him.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, until way into the show, and like, he sounds familiar. And Shannon goes, "That's the guy that played Superman." And I was like, "What?"
Yep.
Yeah, I found this image, and Tiffany, my wife, she said, "What are you doing in the Superman outfit?" And then she goes, "Oh, that's not you." So that was nice of her. Anyhow, no. But Cavell, he actually made a comment about how he was still interested playing Superman. He was talking about how, I know a lot of people were upset about him killing Zod, but he had an interesting take on that. He said, it's the beginning of a development for Clark Kent, for Superman, because maybe he said that right there was the reason why he decided never to kill again. After killing Zod, it created this dark time for him, and the growth as a character. And he talked about how he really wished that was explored more in his character of Superman. And I don't know if they're ever ask him to do it again, but I don't know. Would you be open to Cavill playing Superman again?
Yes, for Zack Snyder in a Snyder movie where it's Crisis, where we actually see Crisis, and we see Henry Cavill fine in that Superman, because I believe that kind of him killing Zod sets that whole thing up, because now we know Superman can kill. We've never seen it before.
Yeah.
Unless it was in Crisis, and and now we're okay. The entire Earth is now, everybody's rallying to try to stop Superman. So now we actually saw him finally take a life.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now we see this post-apocalyptic, at the end of, this last movie. And it's like, okay, yeah, I want to see, I want to see Superman do that. I want to
Yeah.
see this Superman do that. I want to see Henry Cavill like, yeah, like take on that dark role
Yeah.
and, become that, that black Superman. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah,
black suit.
no. Yeah, the suit.
Yeah,
Well, I think, and a lot of fanboys, I mean, a lot of people who, they were hating on Cavill's Superman because of him killing Zod. And I remember going to a comic book store, he said, and this guy was like he was adamant. Superman does not kill. And I'm thinking, well, I mean,
well,
he has. He has. I mean, if you really want to get into it, if you're looking at when he came out, I mean, the character came out in 1936. I think I know Batman comics came out before Superman, but with the same thing, they say Batman doesn't kill. I don't know how many animations I've seen where he kicked people off of a building. Yeah. I mean, they didn't have a parachute. Right. They didn't have a parachute falling off the. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's silly sometimes. I mean, I guess not killing on purpose or something, but I could really see a good. Right. To me, I think it's, again, the movie wasn't that great. The Superman, I think I think if Zack Snyder had full control over it, because I think it wasn't done by Zack Snyder, was it? The first Superman? No.
I don't think it was.
So I think if Zack Snyder had his hand on that, I think it would have been a lot better. But I think Cavill plays a great Superman. If there's any fault in the movie, it's not him. You can tell this man is a muscle-bound geek because he loves nerdom and everything. Yes. I mean, builds his own PCs. He got in The Witcher because he loved the video game and the books. Yeah. I mean, so
and like he's at least rumored to be in this upcoming Mass Effect thing.
Yep.
He actually hasn't been attached to it or anything else like that. But when this season of The Witcher started filming, he had posted an image on Instagram of him reading a script.
Yeah.
And in the reflection of the picture, you can barely make out just a few words of the script.
Yeah.
And the words that you can make out were Cerberus and Shepherd and I can't remember the other word that they had that you can make out of the script, and it's like, this is Mass Effect. And then all of a sudden, a year later, we're getting this from Amazon saying, "Hey, we have a series coming up." So, yeah, he's a huge nerd. He would be a great Commander Shepard, I think.
I agree.
Shepard.
No, I agree. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, too, if they want to, they can totally. I mean, they can totally do what they want to with the Mass Effect series. Because Mass Effect, when it came out, one of my favorite games ever, trilogy, even though I had some issues with the ending of the Mass Effect 3. But, which, by the way, if you hadn't played Mass Effect 3 by now, I'm not going to worry about spoilers. But there's that at the very end of Mass Effect 3 where Shepard, you saw kind of a movement. He could be still alive. You remember in the very last scene. So there was hope that he could still be alive. And really, if as far as the EA, if they want to be smart about it, which usually they're not, if they want to really build on Mass Effect, continue his story. Now, to continue his story, they're going to have to negate people's decisions. I mean, they're just going to have to. And I'm okay with that, because the ending was so weird anyhow. Go ahead and negate that and build it, go off of the old story. It's like when I got Mass Effect and you could build your own character and everything, I didn't want to. I wanted to play Sam Shepard, the Sam Shepard that they brought me. So, and that's who I played. And so I would, if they were smart, they would continue Sam Shepard and they would somehow have the story where they go back and they get him or something like that. You know how they do in sci-fi. They can do anything they want to. But it's one of my all-time favorite game trilogies. So anyhow, I really do think this is a great opportunity. I mean, this is like a combination of, I don't know, it's like a action-packed Star Trek, Sam Shepard, space exploration. I just combination Babylon 5, combination, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica. Mass Effects just encompass all of these universes somehow. They took a little bit of everything. If Amazon Prime, if Prime is smart, they will get Cavell on there, and they would get passionate people producing it like they did with the guys from Vavio and Star Wars, those kind of guys. So and Todd, I was surprised. I didn't realize that you played the trilogy also.
I did.
Yeah, that's awesome. It was great. Actually, they have right now the Black Friday stuff. They have the remastered trilogy out for like $34 on Steam and PlayStation and all that. So I may jump on that.
And they've released a new version of Halo. My son's been playing it.
Oh yeah, have they? Yeah. So anything big as far as nerdom and holiday nerdom and on your nerdom Christmas list? What's out there that makes you go
I literally just saw an announcement on Netflix that the final third season of Lost in Space starts Wednesday.
Oh,
that's really? A good one.
I didn't realize. That's a great series.
And it's a great show, and I'm really glad that this is one of the ones that Netflix did not just kill.
Which they love doing. Yeah.
Do a final season to finish it.
Good. They gave it a.
So, Adria, do you watch that one?
Lost in Space?
Yeah. On Netflix?
No, I can't.
Check it out.
So what we're going to do, we're going to start, what we're going to do, we're going to give you homework. And your homework, we're going to say, okay, you need to watch these shows. And then we're going to come back later on the show and we're going to give you a quiz. And wouldn't that be great?
Mike, we ought to have a must-watch list on the page.
That'd be great. Yeah. Now, I'm envy of you, Adrian, because it's like you get to see stuff for the first time, and it's awesome. I remember I knew this girl in the 1990s, and
dating yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, and so I was sitting there, and of course, everyone's seen.
You were dating yourself.
Basically, because I was the only one to go out with me. And I was going to say some other stuff, but that's not proper. But she never seen the original trilogy. And I thought, can we continue dating? I don't know. So anyhow, we watched the whole trilogy, and it was fun watching someone sing the whole trilogy for the first time. Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to say, I get excited when someone's like you're saying you're waiting for The Mandalorian season 3. So it's like, it's like chomping at the bit to see that. And there's so many, anymore. Isn't it amazing the quality of shows that are now you can stream? Did you ever think we get to the point where the shows that we're streaming are almost better than what we see in the big screen in the box offices? Right. Yeah. It's amazing to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
And these big names are saying, "Hey, I'm going to do it." Like Cavell, Yes. Yeah. Cavell saying, "Yeah." He's not, because a lot of times movie stars, they're okay, I'm too big for the streaming services, but honestly, that's where it's at. And
you're familiar with the game Reynolds. Castlevania?
Yeah, Castlevania. I remember that.
Netflix did another remake of the cartoon or the anime series Castlevania.
Oh yeah,
it's got 3 seasons now. Extremely well made.
Yeah.
Adria, do you like
it's extremely
anime?
Gory.
Well, I don't have much time to watch much TV, but when I do find something, new and good to watch, I end up binging. So,
do you like supernatural stuff?
Yeah, the show Supernatural. I watched that.
Oh, my wife loved that.
That was a good.
I used
That's
to watch,
good.
Asha.
If you like
Oh, yeah?
Supernatural,
I have all of them.
Which one?
And
You have which one? All of them? Which one? What show you were referring to?
Inuyasha.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, awesome.
Inuyasha anime.
Yeah, that's
Oh, and
awesome.
yeah,
Maybe.
there's a new series.
And I've heard heard Darryl, about the He-Man Masters of the Universe or whatever, and I don't want to say, but I watched the She-Ra, the new series on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like She-Ra on there.
Awesome. Yeah. No, okay.
Friendly.
Well, yeah, no, that's awesome. Our deal is I just went down. What happened? I'm eating at the kids' table for Thanksgiving. What just happened? Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. No, all nerd is good nerd. I love all that, and yeah, so I think what we need to do, we start a list of shows, put it on the page, and let's have people, hey, these are the shows I want to talk about, stuff like that. I think that'd be really awesome. And
even do it by interest group. If you like anime, we suggest these shows. If you like science fiction, these shows.
I thought
but I was gonna
yeah.
recommend for Adria. If you like anime and you like the show Supernatural, there's an anime one season of a show called Trese, Trese, and it's in Manila, and it's about Manilan folklore, very much along the lines of the show Supernatural. I think you would probably like it. There's even an after the show for that too that explains it. So,
what platform is it on? What streaming channel?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
And what's the name of it again?
Trese, Trese.
That sounds like a Spanish omelet. Are you sure that's what it is?
It's Manilan.
Okay. Yeah, it has Corzo sausage in it, and a little bit of.
Wrong island.
Okay.
Think more Taiwan.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
There.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, man, it's like I ended up picking up. I watched I didn't spend that much money this year when it comes to Black Friday because I knew my wife, she keeps an eye on me sometimes to make sure, I don't overdo things. I don't know why, but I came across on GameStop. I wish I had it on there, but they had the Millennium Falcon cell phone charger for like $25. Usually it's $49, and basically you put your phone on top of the Millennium Falcon and it'll charge your phone. I think it's still on there. It's probably, if you have it shipped, it's probably $35. And of course, if you buy any, you add something and it's over $35, the shipping is free. But I thought it was kind of interesting. It looks pretty cool. So I had a guy at work, and I wanted it last year, but I didn't pull the trigger. And I thought, okay, this year, if that comes up again, I'm going to buy it. So check it out on GameStop. Wait a minute. Why am I promoting them? They should pay me for this. But anyhow, but no, it's really cool. If you get a chance, look it up. It's just geek gadgets. And we'll probably do a geek gadget show coming up for the holidays, our geek Christmas, our nerd Christmas list, getting close to the holidays. But as far as holiday gifts, what do you see out there that, and it could be, it could be something that you're definitely not going to get, but what do you want, for our holidays? As far as nerd, what do you see out there that's nerdy gifts that you going, man, I really would like to have that for no particular reason? Come on, Darryl. I know you have plenty of nerdy stuff out there that you want on your holiday Christmas list. I was kind of,
really, there's nothing that new this year that
yeah.
that I'm dying or looking at that's new this year.
Yeah.
Things in the past. I would really like one of those Bluetooth Death Star speakers that
Oh
where the
yeah.
Death
Oh
Star floats.
yes.
Doesn't have to
Where
be
the Death Star
anything new.
floats
Yeah,
in
it don't have
space.
to be new. Yeah.
But yeah, like I want one of those. Like I think that would be really cool. Like I think it look great back here on my nerd shelf.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be great. I mean, honestly, if I think what you should get for Christmas, Daryl, I think you should get like a D-140 for Han Solo blaster replica, and then you should give me the one that you have behind you as a gift. And and I'd be totally surprised. I go, oh my goodness, look at that. So anyhow, just remember, it's just around the corner. And remember, I saved you from animals before, so I saved your life back a long time ago. So yeah. So, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. I always have to, because I love Star Wars, and you have to be careful to collect because you can collect so much of stuff, and so you have to be really. I have to be really choosy, because I have a ton of stuff right now that I'm selling online, and so you have to, you have to be really careful, especially someone like me who I can't. I have to be careful going online and checking out new things. So I have to be really careful. And I was really good this year. Like I said, it could have gotten really bad in a hurry. So
I wouldn't mind having the R2D2 X-wing ceiling fan.
Oh, I saw that. That is so
that is
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah.
I show it on my phone, but it won't show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that. No, yeah, I mean, let's see here. Let me just see here something here.
R2D2 X-wing ceiling fan.
Do X.
And
Yeah,
a
I saw.
Millennium Falcon charge.
Yeah, I mean it's. Yeah, you'll find out all kinds of things. I mean, we should have our Christmas list on the page. What is it? R2D2. What is again R2?
R2D2 X-wing ceiling fan.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's on the Technobob website.
The Techna something. Oh my goodness.
Technobob.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, let's see here. Let's I'll share my screen here. Let's see here. Here I am. Let's see here. Yeah, it has oh, there we are. Oh my goodness, look at that. We have 500 things, and do we see it? There it is. Do you see that?
Can you full screen it?
I can
photo?
do. Let me see here. No, now it's.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Do you see that?
Looks like a tunnel.
Man, the show. I think we broke the internet. I think we just broke the internet. I think I need to stop sharing. There we go. Wow. I think. Wow, I've never seen that before. But yeah, I don't think I'll do that again. I'll blame it on Ricky. But yeah, so there's a ton of fun stuff out there. I would love to have the. I would like to have a couple of cosplay helmets from Star Wars. That would be really cool. Rex is one. I wanted a cosplay helmet from him for a long time. There's just a couple. I think as I've gotten older, I used to, as a kid, action figures, but it's more like, the bigger toys now, some of the bigger things that you want to collect. And so, and be kind of like any collection, you want to be kind of selective in what you get. Now, Todd, you're a big Marvel guy. Do you anything that you see that you that's out there that you've seen in the past? Doesn't have to be anything new. Anything that you might be interested in.
Well, I don't have a lot of collectibles myself. but I've always admired the Captain America shield. I think it's a very classic, clean piece of memorabilia. Would probably be pretty cool to have something like that. But
I could see you running around with it, fighting crime. I could do that.
Yeah, no doubt.
I would. You know.
Either that or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle costume.
Now, that I would buy for you. I would buy that for you.
So do that.
And I would I want you mowing. I want you going to your lawn services to do that. That right there.
I could use my katana sword to trim bushes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Man. Well, dude, we just blown an hour and a half of just goodness. Adrian, thank you for joining the show. You're welcome back anytime, but you talk too much. That's the problem. Hey,
next time she comes on, we need to have her talk about what she likes to watch.
Yeah, actually, well, that's
more homework.
No, just whatever you're watching.
Whatever you're watching. Well, yeah, we accommodate. That'd be homework for us if we haven't seen it. So,
Okay.
So yeah, we'll put a post up.
I started watching Atlantis on Hulu. I don't know if y'all tried that or Atlantis on Hulu.
Is that Atlantis? Is it Atlantis or is it like a Stargate Atlantis?
No, it's not Stargate.
Atlantis. Now you got me wanting to Google that now. Let's see here.
I like it.
No, I think it's good. What's the premise of it?
Spoilers or whatever if you want to try it.
Yeah, we'll give that a try. That'd be good. We should do it's a good idea, Todd, on our group page. We should just do people's suggestions of shows that they would like to talk about or suggestions of shows that people should watch. I think that'd be a great idea. And that way the community, the group, we can, watch some of that. I know at one time we talked about, and I would like to do, like we did one time, I think we did with The Mandalorian, where we all got on Facebook and we hit the play button on The Mandalorian at the same time. And as the show was going on, we made comments. Now, the key is to make sure you're on the same time code as everyone else or you're going to give stuff away, Yeah. That's the problem.
We did that with season 2, episode 1, and I think at episode 2.
Yeah.
I think we may have gotten 3 episodes.
Yeah.
That we ended up doing that with, and then I think after that something had happened, and we weren't able to.
Yeah, I wanted to do it in a way where we would have some type of community, like Discord, and some kind of thing. But it's really difficult to, if you're not familiar walking through some of that technical stuff, it's kind of hard to walk people through that. So we thought, okay, the best thing to do is just. And the thing about Facebook, there's a lag, there's delay. I mean, and Adrian, you probably, when you make a comment, you're thinking, well, I hadn't, we pick up on it 2 minutes later. It's because there is quite a bit of lag on Facebook and on YouTube. So, when a comment comes up.
My internet signal's pretty bad. I had to get your live show on YouTube. I can't even get the video to play on my Facebook.
I've heard that.
What the difference is.
Yeah, I've heard that from other people too. And Facebook is just really slow. I mean, if I have really high internet speeds, and when I click on Facebook, just to get on the page, it takes a while to come up. So compared to other pages, so yeah.
What if we did a watch show on StreamYard?
I don't know how many. We would have to. We could do that. It would have to be a limited number. It would have to be a limited number of people, and so that would be one of those things. And we could do that where we could actually watch it. And
you not actually watch it on StreamYard. We could watch it on our devices, but just be able to talk to each other while.
Yeah, I mean either way, it's fine. Yeah, you have to. it would just, I don't know how many people can be on StreamYard at the same time, but that would be fun. Me and Ricky's talked about that before, trying to come up with a watch party, have it in a way where whoever wants to be involved, they can. We also talked about doing special events of the page where, you know, people get selected and they can come on the show, or we can do a watch party together, and those who can't make it on like StreamYard or whatever kind of platform we have here, they can at least follow along on the Facebook page as far as comments and stuff like that. So it's something I'm looking into. It's just trying to find the right technology where it's easy for everyone to do. That's the hardest thing. Well, I think we're running on an hour and a half of goodness. I think we're getting close to the end of the show. Adria, thank you for joining us.
She needs to get her an award for hanging all this time.
Oh, I know it. And well, her award is that she'll be invited again. I don't know if that's an award or that's a punishment, but we'll have you on again. And
okay.
So we'll you know, but it was good having you on. Thank you, Darryl, for joining us. We'll be back next Friday. It would be 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll have the man, the legend, Mr. Ricky Pope. He'll be back. Of course, Todd V, the AKA Florida Man, who keeps things lively. And so I think we're gonna close the show. And I thank you everyone for who's made it this long with us for open mic night. And I think now we will just, let's see here. We'll just say thank you and good night.
Good night.
This was the Speaking Nerdy podcast with me, Mike Schilling, special guest Darryl McCarty, Todd V, Adria Roach. Thank you for joining. Remember, catch us next week. Same time, same station. Well, that was fun.
It was.
Yeah.